show. Oh, it just stopped there. Hello and welcome to today's Weekly 10 show, where today I'm focusing on the second core discipline. You remember I spoke about awareness last week. Well, this is the second in line to awareness. We're talking about acceptance today. So that's second in line when you really want to create full mastery. You really need to master acceptance. So what I want to talk about today is a more personal account of acceptance from my perspective. So after I was released from prison, I went through a series of extremely difficult transitions, and any one time we're going through different types of transitions all through our lives, but this particular time was very difficult in terms of felt totally lost. When I was released, I went to live at my aunt's house, and I was living in her annex, and I just didn't feel that I had a place anymore. Not through any fault of their own, because if it wasn't for them, they gave me everything they could. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't even have been out of prison. So, you know, but it was a case of everything that I had taken for granted previously before I'd gone to prison in the first place simply wasn't there anymore. It was all gone. My home had gone, along with all my loved ones, every single one of them, and I just felt that I had no place left. So it was really difficult to find who, you know, yourself and where you are, where your role is basically in life. So on top of all this environmental sort of transition, I was experiencing really huge, massive emotional and mental transitions as well at the same time. So obviously with all of that going on, it's very difficult to sort of find anything, any kind of acceptance, not only on yourself, but with anything that's around you and what's gone before and so on. So when you experience a sudden loss on a large scale, or any scale really, it doesn't really matter what the scale is, you go into, or what I went into, sort of a survival mode, to just go through it as best as you can. You shut off your emotions, well I do, shut off the emotions completely and buried them, and eventually that led me to having a meltdown, a breakdown, and I took an overdose. A lot of people who probably don't understand what you're going through will turn around and say to you, yeah, you're really strong for coping with this, or staying calm and focusing on what's going on rather than losing the plot in the midst of all this trauma that's going on around you. So a lot of people used to give me compliments about that, but the reality is I wasn't strong at all. I simply turned my feelings off, turned them off. It's like a switch. Whether that was done consciously or unconsciously, I don't know, but I suppose it was conscious, because I knew I had to focus and get through this, and I wouldn't have been doing that if I was a mess emotionally. So yeah, it would have been a conscious decision. So you just literally just feel numb all the time when something like that. And you do, and in my case, it enabled me to focus on what I needed to focus on and get through the situation. However, strength is really when you face your emotions head on and you actually look them in the eye and accept them. And that's when that can take literally years. I mean, it took me years. It takes a long time to come to that point. And the entire time you fail to forgive or refuse to understand or accept a situation for what it is, including yourself, indeed yourself. So you're literally preventing yourself from actually moving forward in your life and moving on with your life and building the life that you want and desire and deserve. So when I decided to become a coach, I had, people laughing, mocking you, as was, funny enough, happened last night. Same thing. It's going to happen all the way through. But maybe not to my face, but it's inevitable that people will take the mick and, try and knock you down when they see you doing something that they don't understand, or, which doesn't fit in with what they think you are. Because people have this image of what they expect you to be like, and if you don't fit that image, it's not what they want. So a lot of people are like that. And again, that is all about acceptance. It comes down to what you accept and what you don't accept, and so on. So, okay, however, that doesn't bother me. It never did bother me. People, taking a mick behind your back and all of that, it happens. I just don't care about it. So if I had, you know, so when you, the hardest thing I'll probably say is to find the actual acceptance in yourself. Now, like I said, some people might have issues with people accepting, other people accepting them, but for me it was about accepting myself. That was my problem, or my issue, that I had to come to terms with and deal with. So in a nutshell, I hated myself. I actually passionately hated myself. Tried to kill myself 2 times in my life, so I'm, you know, thankfully I didn't. But you know, you're living a lifestyle of recklessness, of at the expense of my great parents, who are wonderful people, and they did everything for me, and I just threw it back in their face most of the time. So that's the way it was. Knowing it is possible that they'd have probably lived, or may not have, but it's possible that they may have lived had I not been where I was, which was in prison when they got ill. And also, you don't understand. You question how much of your actions led to them being the way they were. So there's all of that going on, and you've got all of that going on, and you can't just switch a switch and turn that off. So it's difficult, and that all feeds into the narrative that you're telling yourself about what you're really like, and you know what a horrible person you are, and all of that sort of stuff. So. And there was other, like, you know, I could pick out hundreds of different things over the years, but the last Christmas we ever spent together, for instance, my mother had spent hours slaving over the table to make sure that the food, everything was perfect, and I just got up halfway through the meal and just walked off and started wrapping my girlfriend's presents, because I was more interested in what she thought than my own parents. So stuff like that will always sort of, you know, get to you. And it's stuff like that also that's going to stop you moving forward in your life, because if you don't accept who you are and what you're about, then there's always going to be something stopping you really performing at your best in any situation. And as I've said last week as well, if you don't actually practice what you preach and live the life and do these live by these core disciplines, then you won't make any progress. Simple as that. So anyway, I could go on about all of that, but there's no point. So as time sort of progressed, and I began to training as a coach, and after I fully actually qualified and became certified, I found it difficult to accept the elements of my character which some people would expect you to either change or alter in order to become a professional coach. You know, people have got an idea of what you should look like and talk like and act like and everything else. So, you know, that's their image of what you are, and that's what they expect you to be. So when people see you as something not like that, oh no, he's not this, he's not. That's the sort of rationale you've got to deal with, because you know. And the thing with that is, it takes time for you to step back from who you were to who you are now, and when you're becoming something new, it takes time to accept all of the elements of your character, basically, of who you were. And you know, why do you have to change everything you were? You don't have to change the things that are good about yourself. You don't have to change all the things that, you know, I like about myself. So my sense of humour, for one, you know, a lot of my, you know, I send one of my friends said to me the other day, he said, you're going to have to stop sending silly videos to people, because people won't take you seriously. And he has a point, because some people won't take me seriously and probably don't take me seriously when I'm sending out stupid videos to people to make them laugh. You know, that's the whole point. But that's them. I don't care what they think. I know that's what I like doing it, and I will continue doing it. It doesn't matter. It's not going to change whether I'm a good coach or not. It doesn't denigrate what I do with my clients. I know that I'm a good coach. I know that I'm going to be a very successful coach. And I will be using everything I've learned, all my experience and everything I've been trained over the last 2 years to do, techniques wise and stuff like that, to help people get to where I am. And I was in the gutter. So that's what I'm doing. But however, if I still want to send silly videos to people, if I want to go to a rave at night and drop an E, I'm going to do it. I don't need anyone's acceptance to do that. I accept who I am, and I accept what I do. And if someone has an issue with that, that's their problem, not mine. So don't change anything about yourself to please others. Be who you are. You are who you are, good and bad. Accept everything, especially the bad, or not the bad. There's no such thing as bad. The things that people perceive as bad. So if you choose, you know, when you reach that sort of point, that's only then will you sort of become who you really want to be, and that you'll find true acceptance in yourself, and you'll open up the doors to create anything that you want in life, basically. So that really is a fundamental, let's say, obstacle, let's call it, because it is an obstacle at times. So, you know, but once you do accept every element of yourself and everything about you, around you, and so on, that's when you free yourself up to move forward. So I'm available for one-to-one coaching, as some of you know and some of you don't know. So get in touch if you think I can help you. Also, I'm starting a 4-week group challenge called the Turning Point Challenge. Okay, so if you're interested in that, that's going to start 12th of April. And if you're interested in finding out how you can get involved in that, or just information about it, drop me an email and subscribe to my email community list, my email list, or what you want to call it. I'll leave that in the box in the comments. And great, let me know if there's anything I can help you with. I can talk. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next time. Ta-ta.